All right, Jake, this is Coach Holtman. Just taking a look at some of your mechanics here and seeing what changes we can make during the off season. Coach Glover got you from the wrong side here. He should get you from the other side, but that's all right. We'll make do with what we got, and we'll see what you need to work on, so that way you're ready to go for next spring. All right, so the first thing I'd like to see is how you go into leg lift. Now, it's kind of hard to tell, but from what I can see, when you lift your leg, what I look for is I want to see this front leg track towards your back ear. All right, so front leg towards your back ear. Now, if I'm watching this from this side, it looks to me like your front leg is going straight up in the air. All right, so I'll draw a red line to show that. Okay, so your leg is following this red line. I'd like to see your leg follow that yellow line. And what that does is it sets your hips up into hip load in a way that allows you to move down the mound more efficiently down the road. Okay, we break the pitching mechanics down into 5 phases: hip load, hip lead, hip separation, release, and follow through. All right, and if we're off kilter in any of those first 3 phases, it causes a lot of problems down the chain. So we want to make sure that we're getting off on the right foot. Okay, so we want to get this. A really simple adjustment that you can make to start is just by getting that front leg to go up towards your back ear, back shoulder. All right. Okay. Another thing that we want to see is as we go into leg lift, I want to see this front hip and front shoulder slightly elevated. Okay, so when you reach the apex of your leg lift, that front hip and that front shoulder need to be up slightly. Okay, and that'll set your hips in a good position that allow them to move down the mound and rotate open properly. All right, so those are 2 big adjustments that you need to make, Jake, this offseason. All right, get that front leg, the leg kick up towards your back shoulder, and then slightly elevate your front hip and front shoulder. All right. Now, as we move down the mound, okay, one thing I look for is I want to see what initiates your drive down the mound. Okay, is it your leg or is it your back knee? Okay, our back leg is what it should initiate our drive down the mound, not our front leg. All right, and so part of the reason why we want that front hip elevated is because it allows us to more easily drive with our back leg, and it allows us to turn off that front leg so that way it's not doing any of the work as we move down the mound. Okay, so one thing I noticed is as you go down the mound, look, you go up, and then you go down, and then you go out. Okay, this is a pretty ineffective way to use our lower half. All right, because now we're swinging open that front side, that front leg, instead of driving down the mound with that back leg. Okay, one thing that I can tell is by looking at how this back leg interacts with the ground. Okay, so here it's straight up and down, but look as you go down the mound. Watch your knee. Okay, your knee is tracking over your toes. All right, that's not good. That's not what we want. Okay, because what happens is as you go down the mound, you come up onto your toe pretty quickly. All right, you can see it on this side too. And what that does is that causes you to have a hard time activating that glute and driving with your back leg. All right, because look, your direction with your back leg isn't going straight in towards the catcher. All right, it's actually going at this angle, towards the left there. Okay, we want that back knee to pinch straight in towards the catcher. All right, that'll allow you to activate your glutes more effectively. All right, it'll allow you to stay back with your trunk, with your upper body. All right, and it'll make your movement a lot more efficient. All right, so what happens is because you come up onto that toe so quickly, all right, you're not able to use your trunk very well. All right, so the next phase that we look at is what we call hip separation. All right, and that's right as where front foot lands. And what I should see is your head still back behind this center line. All right, your head should still be back behind this center line. In fact, it should be somewhere back in here. Okay? And the reason it's not is because you don't drive with your butt and because you rotate open early, in order to balance itself, your body has to shift all of its weight forward super fast. okay, and you're not able to stay back with your trunk. Because you're not able to stay back with your trunk, right, you lose a lot of energy there. Okay, so I want to see that head back behind the center line. Okay, but the way that we fix that isn't by trying to necessarily stay back. It's by fixing how this back foot drives, or how that back leg drives and interacts with the ground. Okay, and I'll find some drills and stuff for you to do that will help you fix some of those issues. Okay, the next thing that I want to see is the way your glove, okay, as we watch our glove needs to go thumb down to thumb up. Now that's what yours does, but it happens too early. Alright? When we get into foot strike, my glove should still be thumb down at this point, and just like in this position. Okay, our glove should still be up, kind of like that. Alright, and then going thumb down from there. Okay, but because your hips open early, your shoulders have to open up early too, and so you lose a lot of energy there, and your hips and shoulders open together. Alright. Lastly, the last thing I look for is how does your front leg work? Okay, when you release the ball, your front leg should be completely straight. Alright, but because yours isn't, we're losing a lot of power there too. Okay, so we'll work with you on learning how to keep that front leg, how to get it into extension, or how to get it straighten out as you release the ball, and that'll help you front leg as well. All right. Jake, continue to work hard. We appreciate how hard you work, but we just have some mechanical things that we need to clean up this off season, so that way you're ready to go next spring and next summer. All right. If you have any questions, if you're curious about what I mean by some of these things that I'm talking about, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. All right. It's going to be really important that you ask a lot of questions as you work on some of these things and as you work on some of the drills that I give you throughout the off season. All right. Like I said, if you got any questions, let me know, Jake. Have a good one.